My name is Emma Watkins, and I'm so thrilled to be sharing this all with you. Today, we are actually going to be focusing on the vagus nerve. Now, the vagus nerve may well be something that you've heard about before or not. It quite often gets mentioned when yoga's talked about. It's a bit of a buzzword, but I'm going to keep it really simple because today I'm going to teach you some very, very simple poses, most of which you can do seated. So you can do them anywhere without a mat, which is key. And the really, really great thing about these poses is they work into your vagus nerve. Your vagus nerve, cranial nerve, 10th cranial nerve, in case you wanted to know, goes from your brainstem down the center of your body, and it reaches out into many different organs of your body. And it is made up of parasympathetic nerve endings. Parasympathetic, another one of those buzzwords, but parasympathetic basically means rest and digest. And accessing your parasympathetic nervous system, thumbs up. We do need our sympathetic nervous system. We need the two, and I'm going to say that because we can't just live with that parasympathetic, but in the world that we live in today, we spend a lot of time in our sympathetic yang side of us, and we want to move more into that yin. So, vagus nerve, parasympathetic, here we go. So you don't need to be on a mat. I'm sitting on a block today because I find it more comfortable for my hips. You can sit on a cushion, you can sit on a blanket, you can sit on a book, or you can sit on the ground. And I want you to come into a seated position. You can come into just cross-legged. That's ideally where you want to be. If this really isn't comfortable for you, get some cushions, again, under your knees, just to support them. And what we're going to do first is we're going to come into a breath called Ujjayi Breath. Now, this is a breath, again, lots of buzzwords today, but Ujjayi, I'm sure, is a breath that you will have heard talked about if you've been to yoga classes. If you haven't, that's absolutely fine. And if you have, we're going to just do an idiot's guide and take it apart a little bit, because quite often in yoga classes, a teacher will say, engage your Ujjayi breath. And you might be like, I have no idea what that is, which is totally understandable. And it's more, there is more to a breath, which is, well, Ujjayi is one of the pranayama breaths. I won't get into that, but pranayama is one of the limbs of yoga. It's one of the key parts of yoga. And it's one of the ways that helps us move into a meditative state. But coming back to Ujjayi, what I want you to do to come into Ujjayi is it's a very simple breath, but the breath itself massages that vagus nerve, which is awesome. So simply by breathing, which you can do on the tube, not that we're really going on the tube at the moment, you can do on your desk, at home, but you can do anywhere. If you're feeling, you can activate the Ujjayi breath, and it's a quick access to that parasympathetic nervous system. So to get into the Ujjayi, just clear your lungs. Close the eyes, and then just gently bring your awareness to your breath, and slowly come to a point where your inhale and your exhale are equal. It's often helpful to count mentally. If you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can just continue that for a few cycles. Just let your body settle into it. And then to activate the actual Ujjayi, take your hand in front of your mouth and and what you want to do is imagine you are fogging. Imagine this as a mirror and you're fogging it. So that sound coming from the back of your throat, not, it's the back of your mouth rather, more than the throat, back of the mouth. And then if you do that same action, but with your mouth closed, et voila, you have the Ujjayi breath. And you can do that on just the exhale, and then inhale normally, in through the nose, or you can do the Ujjayi on both the inhale and the exhale. It's completely up to you. But the key is, if you're going to do it, you do the Ujjayi action on the exhale, because the exhale is also access to the parasympathetic. So you're getting double access here. Bingo bongo. And you can do the Ujjayi for 2-3 minutes. You can do it for 5 if you want. Eyes closed, just coming into a very natural, gentle, equal inhale and exhale. Ujjayi is often referenced as the victory breath because it's victory. You're being victorious over the thoughts of your mind. And as always, with everything to do with yoga, the whole goal of yoga is to quieten the mind and to bring our body into union with our mind and our body and mind to become whole again. So that's the Ujjayi breath. And then the next pose, hands onto knees. I'll come back so you can see me a bit better. Got hearts on my socks today. Couldn't resist. Why not? Hands onto the knees, and then take the left hand across the right hand, center of your back, resting on the ground behind you, and then twist. Inhaling and exhaling, deepening that twist. Not only does this work into the vagus nerve, but it also works into the thoracic spine, which isn't often accessed in yoga or stretched. So it's a really satisfying stretch to do. This whole sequence actually is a great one to do first thing in the morning, and then on the other side. And coming back to neutral, we're going to come into a seated cat and cow, which again, if you've been to a yoga class, you'll always be doing cat and cow, usually at the start of the class in tabletop. But you can do it equally as well, sat down. And it's great because it's a gentle chest opener. So inhaling, reaching your gaze up, and as you're doing so, I'm drawing my shoulders back and down my spine and just creating a curve in my back, lifting at the heart center. And then exhaling, curling the back round, bringing the shoulders in, bringing the chin to chest. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And coming back to neutral, just going to do a very gentle neck stretch. Literally, this is all you're doing. Shaking no. And then yes. Voila. So simple, so easy, quick access to your parasympathetic nervous system, to your rest and digest. Happy days. And if you are near a mat, downward dog, any form of inversion, not only great for vagus nerve, but also great if you're doing first thing in the morning, because it's giving your brain a rush of oxygenated blood. So it helps with, it's energizing, but it's also cooling. So you could be doing this in the afternoon when you're just feeling that mental fatigue of sitting in front of a computer for hours. Come into downward dog. I have to take off my heart socks to do this, but I'll just take you very quickly into a downward dog. So come into your tabletop, toes tucked under, weight into your feet, to balls of your feet, weight pushed away from your arms, drawing the soles of your feet towards the mat, shoulders down your back, away from your ears, belly drawn in, and tailbone raised to the sky. And give your head a good shake. Pedal out your feet here. And there you have it. And then you can gently step up and come into a ragdoll. And there we have it. I hope that's helpful for you today, and I greatly look forward to next week's session. Thanks very much.